Hey everyone, this is Matt and I'm here with Louise, who's been playing 2 Point Hospital, which Louise has been waiting for since the dawn of time.
Well, not quite the dawn of time. The exciting thing about 2 Point Hospital is it's made by what's the spiritual successor to Theme Hospital, which if you're as old as us, in 1997.
1997?
It's just a while ago, but the spiritual successor is from ex-developers from Bullfrog and Lionhead as well, and they've decided to revisit the hospital simulation genre and have you run a hospital, and it's amazing. I had maybe I think it was about 3 hours I played for, which meant that I got to play 3 of the different campaign hospitals. So you're going through this lovely green map and you'll go in and you can earn stars in individual hospitals. And when you start each one, it is just these 4 walls, and then you need to go in and kind of run things.
So how did that go for you? I mean, this is a leading question because in the one bit of footage that I've seen of Louise playing, there was a dead person just lying in the corridor.
Well, so when you start, you have your 4 walls of your hospital, and you need to do everything else. So you need to put a receptionist in there who will then see patients. You then need to put a GP in, so you build the nice little office for the GP. Anyone that enjoys really satisfying building where you can have 3 by 3, you're going to get obsessed with this. So you can put up lovely little columns and little perfect offices and pop in your GP's desk, their filing cabinet, and then if you wish you can sort of accessorise a few more bits than that. So once then the patients can come in and the doctor identifies what's wrong with them, whether that's lightheadedness, where you have a bulb on your head, or saucepan head, or the mock star, whichever of these things that is ailing you. And then your hospital has to then provide for these patients. So you need a pharmacy if people just need drugs, you need a psychiatry ward, and then you need psychiatrists to run it if you're a mock star. So it's amazing, there's these people wandering around like Freddie Mercury that are just dancing everywhere. And you need to pop them onto the psychiatrist's couch and then fix them. So the really satisfying one is lightheadedness that I mentioned before, because they get diagnosed with this, and then you can put out in the corridors, you've got little benches for them and little leaflet things so that nobody gets bored, and they sit there quite happily in little rows with their light bulbs in their heads, and you take them in and they sit in a chair and this little claw comes over and unscrews their head, which I'd like to do with you sometimes.
Thanks.
And gives them a new one. But the death that you saw,
finally we get to the death. I mean, that's quite a long-winded.
Yeah, it's quite a long-winded way to the death. So sometimes you can't build just the right things in time, because you need money, and people have to pay you for your expertise, and you need to wait for money to unlock before you can build new things and before you can hire new things. And sometimes maybe you've hired someone that's not very good. So when they go to saucepan head and they try and remove the saucepan, the person doesn't work it right and the person goes flying across the room, and when they eventually stagger out of that room, they die. Okay. So that's what you saw. But the fun thing about death, there's nothing fun about death, but the fun thing about death in this is it's also a challenge in the fact that you don't just have to get rid of the corpse that you have created. Their ghost then decides to haunt your hospital.
That is fun.
It is fun. If you're not in the hospital, that's great fun. So these ghosts are going around leaving nice or white sheets, and if you want rid of those, because chances are you probably don't like it when there's ghosts running around, you have a janitor, and if the janitor has the ghost catching skill, then they can actually just hoover them up.
So it's like Luigi's Mansion within 2 Point Hospital?
Yeah, because otherwise the other patients really don't like it.
I mean, it sort of sets a bit of a bad example. Where's that ghost come from? Did someone die in the hospital, maybe?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Well, there is a rating system. So as you progress and as you earn, more stars, an inspector does come to the hospital and just kind of wanders around and looks at all the blocked toilets that your janitors aren't fixing and cleans up the vomit that's on the floors. And then there's just clowns running around, because of course there's clowns. Of course there's clowns. So that's one of the ailments is a jest infection. I mean, I literally could have written this game. You can have a jest infection, and the clowns then need to go through the dehumorizer, which is really cool in the fact that it's like a little circus tent that they then need to go into, and the doctor that gets rid of it sort of pushes some buttons and things whirl round, and there's a sort of zoetrope that fixes them, and they're just fine afterwards.
So it ticks all these boxes in terms of having slightly comedic illnesses and ghosts you can vacuum up and things like that. But I presume it is actually like a proper management game at the same time.
Oh, totally. It's because it's from those specific developers. They've cut their teeth on this. Just the fact that it's pretty and the fact it's got really good puns and the fact, that it looks like this, it doesn't take away from the fact that you really need to work hard on your hospital. You can't just randomly fill it up with stuff. You need to make money. You can take out loans to pay for things, because obviously I did easier ones, but there were challenges thrown in, big challenges that you then need to manipulate your funds for. So say there's going to be 10 clowns arrive, or 10 people with... It is a nightmare. As you can see, it's a complete nightmare and people are running all over the place. But you do prioritise things, and then there's the fact that you don't just have patients, you have a lot of staff. And staff management's really important, because you either hire cheaper staff who don't have as many skills, or you hire better staff who are clearly more expensive. So
what did you do?
I hired more expensive staff.
Okay.
Well, I hired more expensive because they were paying off in the long run, and they were hoovering up my ghosts after because of the death. But you can, in terms of management of your staff, you can promote them, and even individual challenges come up sort of for them, so it makes them happier if you fulfill those challenges. So if they get to do 5 things, if they get to fix someone with light bulb head, or if they get their own goals. So each of even your staff members have their own personal tasks. If you fulfill those, you'll make money for you and you'll up their happiness as well. And that's one thing that you've got to have a staff room in each hospital, because they need somewhere to go to relax. And if you fill it with all the right things, which is actually a really nice thing, the items, you've got items for the corridors, so you've got drinks machines and snacks machines, so it's quite fun watching the queue of clowns waiting patiently for their snacks. But if you fill the staff room with comfy things and plants and things to entertain them and keep them happy, then they will be happier and your hospital will work better. Even the treatments will change. It's all about money management. While on the surface it's really fun, and you have a receptionist saying, "Could the doctor please come to the reception?" Has a white coat and is 6 foot tall, answers to doctor. It's got that lovely British humour, which I was genuinely laughing while I was playing it. But at the same time, it was, oh no, people are being sick in bins, I need to fix this. Oh no, another person has died, I need to fix this. So it has that great balance of fun, but also it's going to get very challenging. Even I only did 3 of the hospitals. There's a stack more things. I think there's a city that has the effects of there being smog and things. So I expect to see far more references to Theme Hospital as it progresses, but I don't imagine they're releasing that just yet. There's going to have some surprises in there.
Okay, with that in mind then, this might be a difficult question for you to answer because you played Theme Hospital.
Yep.
What's in it for people that didn't? Is there enough there as a management game, do you think, to drag them in?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't play huge amounts of Theme Hospital when I grew up. It wasn't, I knew of it, I played it a little bit. It never hooked me entirely. I think I was slightly too young. Maybe you weren't, Matt. Maybe you were old enough. But I think anyone that likes management games, anyone that's been recently playing, Jurassic World Evolution. I went from managing my park, where my dinosaurs were definitely not eating the tourists, to managing a hospital. And I think anyone that likes simulations, anyone that has a sense of humour, it's beautiful to look at. It's just, I want to play more right now. And we're going to have to wait until August 30th for release.
Awesome. And if you've got any questions about 2 Point Hospital, please do let us know in the comments, and Louise will endeavour to answer them. And we'll try and have more on the game when it comes out later this year. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to Logitech G for more weekly shows and features.